Hey guys, Kellen back here with Inside Out Precision. We're at the shop here after hours, and I'm really excited that I got these bows in today. I really wanted to get a review on the new Hoyt Helix Ultra and RX-3 Ultra before I left for Vegas tomorrow. So I'm going to be going down there for the Vegas shoot, largest archery tournament in the world. I'm going to be mainly coaching for one of my students who's going down there. I really think she's going to do well this year, so I want to be there to support her and just encourage her. And then I'm looking forward to a bunch of the vendor booths. There's a ton of new products out there. Besides the ATA and SHOT Show, the Vegas shoot is probably one of the largest vendor setups out there. So there's going to be a ton of target archery products and hunting archery products as well to kind of test out and play with. And hopefully I can find some stuff to review for you guys in coming episodes. So I came into work this morning and we had just finally got a left-handed Helix Ultra in. And, you know, I can do speed tests right-handed, but I can't really get a good feel for the bow itself unless I get a left-handed one. So I was able to set this up and shoot it a little bit today, and I've been really, really impressed with it. So another cool thing about today's review is that I've got each of these set up in both cam options, and I've got a 2 cam here and a 3 cam on the Helix Ultra. And for those of you who may not know the difference in what the cam options give you, is basically the 2 cam will go from a 27 to a 30-inch draw length, and the 3 cam will go from a 29 to a 32-inch draw length. Now, generally speaking, cams are most efficient in the longer draw length positions. So I have both of these set at 29, and on the 2 cam, I'm only a ½ inch away from being maxed out, so it's in the F position. On the 3 cam, I'm only 1 slot away from being all the way shortened up, so that cam is almost all the way shortened up, even though it's pulling the same draw length, 29.5, as the 2 cam. Now there is a speed difference because of that. We get asked a lot what that speed difference is, and I've never actually tested it. So I'm really excited to be able to have a number rather than just saying, oh, there's a little bit of a speed difference. So when we chronograph these today, we're going to be able to see the difference, you know, with the same weight arrows, same draw length, same poundage. We'll see the difference in speed between the 2 and a 3 cam and the same draw length. So now that I've got this bow in my hands, we'll do a little technical spec review first. So both these bows are identical when it comes to the brace height, the axle to axle length, and the IBO speed. So both of them are 34 inches axle to axle. That's actually 1 inch shorter than the Ultras last year. They have a 6 3/4 inch draw length, or excuse me, brace height. So really good combination of forgiveness and speed. They both IBO at 334 feet a second, so not a huge drop from their shorter counterparts in the RX-3 and the Helix, just the standard 30.5 inch models. I think they IBO at 342, so just an 8 foot a second drop. Really nice bow. So they changed the cam. They changed the cam from last year. This is called the ZT Pro Cam, and what I've really noticed about this shooting it is right away I noticed how smooth this bow draws. The RX-1 was a great shooting bow. It had a little bit of a stiff draw cycle, not bad, but a little stiff. And what we really noticed with the RX-1 series though was the noise. Granted, carbon is going to have a little different sound and a little more noise just because of the material, but they definitely had a little bit of pop to them, and they also had a little bit of hand shock. I'm not going to lie, they were not the smoothest bow I've ever shot. Now they were very, very accurate. They tuned really, really well, but just the overall feel of the bow was not, in my opinion, not up to par from what Hoyt's done in the past. So with this new cam, they seem to have taken a lot of the noise out, a lot of the vibration out, and the draw cycle is really, really impressive. It's very smooth. So really cool cam system there. They still have, you know, their standard Limp Pockets here. Hoyt's always been really well known for some of the best Limp Pockets in the industry. You know, they're all machined aluminum. The system they have here, there is 0 movement in these limbs. And if, you know, you're not sure what that does, well, if you have any movement in this limb pocket or any play in the limb inside the limb pocket, it's going to be a tuning nightmare, and you're going to get a ton of inconsistencies, even though, you know, your sight's not moving, your rest isn't moving. It's just the limb. So really, really good limb pockets. Hoyt's always been known for having some of the toughest limbs on the market. Very rarely do I ever see one of these bows come through the shop with a blown up limb. In fact, I don't think I've ever seen one. Even if guys dry fire them and it derails, you know, this draw stop might come around and nick the limb a little bit and put a little sliver or a chip in it, but I've never seen one actually blow. Unlike some other companies where, you know, it's almost a guarantee that they blow if you dry fire it. So maintaining their reputation of excellence in those departments. It's got a really nice riser configuration, I think. One thing I noticed when I shot this is how well this bow holds. This bow holds extremely, extremely well. And some of that is due to the longer axle to axle length. You know, 34 inches is a little bit longer than your standard hunting bow. So kind of like the Matthews Traverse, I think this would make a great crossover bow. It's not so long that it's going to be unwieldy in the hunting scenario, but it's also long enough to where I get a really solid aiming platform. I could easily throw, you know, a freestyle setup on this with long bars and a scope, and it's going to just be a tack driver. Some things they did on the RX-1, they started this split harness down here on the bus cable. I don't know if you guys can see that, but the bus cable comes down and there's this little yoke here, and they split the bus cable to where it connects on either side of the cam. And what that does is it evens out the pressure evenly on both sides of the cam so that it creates less need for any cam lean in the top to tune the bow. So Hoyts have your traditional kind of split yoke system here on the top where it connects on either side. And to tune them, let's say my rest is in center and I shoot and I'm shooting tail right. Well, rather than moving my rest, I put a twist, generally an even twist in one side and out of the other. So if it's tail right, I'm going to start with, let's say, a twist in the right yoke and a twist out of the left yoke. And what that's going to do is lean the cam slightly one way so that when it shoots, it leverages that string back to the left, thus bringing the tail of the arrow in to a bullet hole. So what's nice about this split bus cable here in this yoke system and harness on the bottom is that it means I don't have to put as much lean in the top cam to counteract all the pressure being on one side of the cam on the bottom. This is standard in their whole series, their whole lineup. So whether it's, you know, the RX-3, the Helix, the RX-3 Ultra, or the Helix Ultra, that same system will apply. So really cool technology there. They've got their string stop. That's been standard for quite a few years now. They've got the roller guard system, so that's really nice on string wear. You know, you don't see any serving separation or you know, chewing up your cables here because those roller guards are really nice and smooth, and they give you a lot of clearance with your vanes on your arrow. Again, these bows are identical in terms of speed and brace height and everything. I will say, again, I haven't shot the carbon one in left-handed yet, but in the past, in the RX-1s when I shot the carbon versus aluminum, the carbon just has a little different feel in your hand at full draw. To me, it feels like it's got a little more rigid feel to it. I don't think it's actually any stiffer, but just that difference in material just gives the bow a little bit different feel. There's also a little more noise, in my opinion. I haven't put it on a decimal reader or anything like that, but just by listening to it, there does seem to be a little bit more noise, or maybe I would call it a different noise with the carbon. It's got a little more of a pop to it versus your typical just, you know, kind of dull thwack with an aluminum riser. Hopefully when I shoot through the chronograph, you guys will be able to hear the difference in that. But really cool lineup from Hoyt this year. I think they fixed a lot of the issues that people had with last year's RX-1s. Again, that's just an opinion. I know we sold a ton of RX-1s, guys shooting them great. But Hoyt listened to their customers and did what they could to fix it. So props to them. I'm really looking forward to getting these things running through the chronograph. So I'm going to go set that up and we'll run some arrows through these babies. All right, guys, here at the chronograph, got it all set up. This is the Helix Ultra. They're both, this and the RX-3 Ultra are both right at 70.5 pounds right out of the box, maxed out. This is the number 3 cam at 29.5, so just a ½ inch from being shortened up all the way. Starting off with a 502 grain arrow. So draws really nice. It feels short for 29.5 though, which is kind of odd. I'm not sure why. Came in at 265 there. Definitely feels shorter than my Matthews at 29.5. This is a 486 grain arrow. .269, so about 4 feet a second. This is a 445 grain arrow, so a really common hunting weight. Again, 29.5 inches, 70 pounds, 70.5 pounds. Number 3 cam on the Helix Ultra. Really nice balance to the bow though. 280, so that's pretty good jump there. 11 feet a second. This is a 419 grain arrow, so basically 420. .287, so pushing that 290, and then this is going to be a 360 grain arrow. So this is an arrow from a few years back of mine that I kind of put together for an outdoor setup and didn't work out so hot, but pretty common weight for like a 3D or field arrow. .309, so pretty good speed for that. If you're looking to shoot 3D, you know, get that 360 to 380 grain arrow. This is going to shoot really good speed for you. So pretty good, pretty impressive. You know, no speed demon by any means, but staying within that, you know, 270 to 300 range with a 500 to 360 grain arrow is really respectable. So I'm going to go grab the RX-3 Ultra, and that's going to be in the 2 cam. So I'm expecting to see a pretty decent speed jump across the board in all the arrows, because this cam is basically under rotating at 29.5. The RX-3 Ultra cam is going to be nearly maxed out in draw length at 29.5. So I'm going to go grab that, and we'll see what she does. All right, went and grabbed the RX-3 Ultra in the carbon version. This is the 2 cam, so we're only a ½ inch from being lengthened all the way out. 29.5 inches, 70.5 pounds. Both these bows are pulling identical weight. I expect a higher jump in speed all the way through in this, because this cam is nearly lengthened out all the way, whereas the other one is nearly shortened up all the way. So I am pulling this one right-handed. I'm gonna look like kind of a dummy. Don't judge me too bad. I'm not that weak, I promise. So 502 grain arrow. 280, wow. So the first one was 265. So 15 feet a second, that is impressive. This one is going to be 486 grain arrow. And remember, these are the same draw lengths, just one is a 2 cam, this is a 2 cam, the other one was a 3 cam. So this is a 486 grain arrow. 283, so pretty efficient with the heavy arrows, not a big jump from a 502 to a 486. This is a 445 grain arrow, real common weight. Oh God. Much stiffer draw cycle with the 2 cam than the 3 cam. 293, so that's pushing some speed. For a long axle-to-axle bow with the 445 grain arrow, that's moving. Next arrow we got here, and that arrow in the Helix was at 280, so seems to be about a 12 to 15 foot a second jump from the 2 to a 3 cam. So here's going to be this is a 419 grain arrow. Oh, I don't know how many more times I can draw this right-handed. Right at 300 on the nose. So that's moving. And then the grand finale, again, this is an outdoor arrow that I made a couple years ago. Didn't really work out, but it's 360 grains. Pretty common weight for like an outdoor, either 3D or, you know, like an arrow you might shoot at Redding or a field shoot. So I'm expecting some pretty good speed on this one. 321, so that is moving. So there's a significant jump. It was 309 with the Helix Ultra, 321 with this, so staying consistent with that, you know, 12 to 15 feet a second. I will say the Helix Ultra aimed really, really well. Hoyt, they have a wider limb pocket on the bottom than they do the top, and that's because on the RX-1 series, they lowered the grip from being in the true center of the riser. They lowered it 3/4 of an inch so the center of the line of pull is through the true center. And what that did is put more riser on the top of the bow, or on top of the grip than the bottom. So by widening this lower limb pocket and adding these weights here, it helps keep the center of gravity low and creates for a really, really nice hold. When I was shooting that left-handed bow, it settled on target really nice. We'd love for you to come by the shop, shoot some of these, or if you're not local, go to your local pro shop, your Hoyt dealer, ask them to shoot these. I don't think you'll be disappointed. Please hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. We're so appreciative of you guys who've been following along. It means the world to us. Remember, precision is a decision, and I'll see you guys on the range.